Your Excellency Vice Prime Minister Olha Stefanishyna, Your Excellency Vice Prime Minister Cristina Gherasimov, Your Excellency Minister Odobescu, esteemed and dear colleagues, it is a true honor for me today to introduce this plenary session at the annual meeting of the Romanian ambassadors and to welcome two of our special guests to this meeting. And it is also a pleasure, a personal pleasure, to be part of this ladies panel. In June this year, I had the pleasure to be present in Luxembourg during a new historic step taken by Ukraine and the Republic of Moldova towards the European Union. That was the formal opening of their accession negotiations and the first political IGCs. Both the emotion and also the immense satisfaction of the high representatives of the two candidate countries, ladies, were visible, and it was a well-deserved new phase in your accession process, which started with these conferences. It was also a deep emotion moment for us, for Romania. We are a close neighbor of the two countries. We are a strong supporter of your European path and also a dedicated and enthusiastic promoter of the enlargement policy and its strategic value for us all. Ukraine and the Republic of Moldova are currently engaged in a process that will not be easy, as we can certify from our own experience and even from the current day-to-day membership reality. But it is worth the effort that you are doing. Unfortunately, we are approaching 900 days since the barbaric war which Russia is leading against Ukraine. Despite it, both Ukraine and the Republic of Moldova managed to do spectacular steps towards the EU integration. So, in the current context, the question is, what are the main challenges for your countries, and how can we, as a union, and we as Romania and the neighboring member states, support you in your courageous endeavor? Without further ado, because I'm pretty sure that people came here to listen to you, it is my great pleasure to invite Mrs. Luminița Odobescu, our foreign minister, for her opening remarks. Thank you.
Dear Vice Prime Ministers, dear Olha, dear Cristina, dear colleagues, I'm very honored to have with me today two strong, brave women. And I'm really proud that we are working together. And Clara said that in Luxembourg was a very emotional moment. It was really a very important moment, not only for Ukraine and Republic of Moldova, but also for Romania and for the Romanian diplomacy, because we were a support of accession of the two countries before this process started. And I remember the discussions we had explaining why it's so important for Ukraine and for Republic of Moldova to become member of the EU. Years ago, and you remember the reaction of our partners. But allow me to start, first of all, to again express our support to you and to all the Ukrainians, brave Ukrainians, who face the terrible, terrible war of aggression. And you heard all the President, the Prime Minister, the Speaker of the Senate, and also in my speech, supporting Ukraine, supporting Republic of Moldova, are our priorities, not only for now, but for the years to come. Because our objective is really to have the two countries without in the EU. And we are also proud that because we have been part of this historical moment. From the first moment, we were active days and nights at all the levels, from the President, Prime Minister, myself, discussing, explaining to all the partners, convincing the partners. It was not easy. I was part of several discussions when we explained how important, despite the war, and this is not a word, it is a result of a hard work in very difficult conditions, and we praise what the two governments are doing in very difficult conditions. I mean, in a country affected under the war of aggression, in a country very much affected by this war. So we praise all the reforms and the results of these reforms in very difficult situation and condition, and we have to say this in a very clear manner to all the partners, because it works, and this is really important because it's also about our security. So, Olha, Cristina, you will have in Romania, in the Romanian colleagues here, partners. There are difficult times ahead of us, but I'm confident with you, with your force, we will succeed because you are not alone in this process. And you, of course, is just the beginning on a long journey, but you have a partner in Romania, in the Romanian Foreign Ministry, and you know that we have started working on different areas on how to prepare and use our expertise in our accession process. I'm not saying a nice word that we are ready to help, you can count, but it really, we mean it, and you have seen the concrete steps with our expertise, and I'm also grateful to other colleagues from other ministries, because here the Foreign Ministry is not alone, and we need also our colleagues on board from different ministries, and it's I've been personally involved in our accession to the EU. I know that it's difficult, but it's also very important because at the end of the day, this is what matters for the citizens, because we are all working for our citizens. So, yes, we face all difficult times. You face a war, but as I said, you can count on Romania support, and you also can count on Romania support because you are also very much affected by this war. So I will stop here because it's also important to have a discussions, but our priority, and I'm really happy that we are here together, is to see exactly how we can continue on concrete, using our diplomatic tools, our diplomatic, you see, we have a lot of colleagues here, how we can work better together in supporting you, in promoting your interests, which are also our interests, because we are speaking about our joint security. So thank you again for being with us. It's really an honor for our diplomatic service to have you here in Bucharest, and looking forward to having to our conversation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Minister. Of course, building on the assurances of our continued support for Ukraine and for the Ukrainian people, please let me now invite Her Excellency Vice Prime Minister Olha Stefanishyna to take the floor and to offer us our view on the current context and also on your future objectives. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Dear Luminița, I'm really, really deeply touched to be invited to this event when you celebrate the accomplishments of all the diplomatic corps you've had over the year, and I'm extremely proud to understand that support to Ukraine, commitment to Ukraine, to democracy, and advancing in every possible way our reform track, our European Euro-Atlantic integration, but also supporting every step of the way in terms of building our more capable security environment in Europe, but also making a decisions to support militarily Ukraine has been one of the key priorities of the foreign policy for Romania. But now, when we are speaking about the next steps, we understand that integration to European Union is a very much domestic policy, and probably now when we have reached the highest bar of the political decisions, next steps require a strong expertise, engagement with all the stakeholders across the government, and we really count on your expertise, support, and knowledge. And basically, we understand that you are one of those countries where Ukraine is relying very much to the experience of your European integration, and we would share that. But of course, it would not be possible for us to go through this path without a significant military support and significant political commitment organized around that. Of course, we could be in the same position with our European aspirations if after Ukraine submitted the application for membership just on 28th of February, member states would not decide that this is a geopolitical decision which will not only support Ukrainians but will make European Union stronger. We might not be here if on the 23rd of June 2022 all 27 member states would not say that Ukraine and Moldova are granted the candidate status, and we would not be in the same position if all 32 allies wouldn't say that Ukraine's membership to NATO is irreversible. So every step of this way required a strong political will, leadership, and commitment. And I'm really grateful that Romania has always been such a reliable and strong partner in that regard. And hear us where we say that we do not take every step of your support as for granted. We do not consider that this is an unconditional support that we have to share. We are really grateful, and we understand that it takes a lot of energy to mobilize the unity around every decision within the country and beyond its borders. Ukraine always remembers and cherishes its partners and friends, and Romania will always be in the heart of every Ukrainian as a partner, not only in this very serious geopolitical decisions, but in the times of political turbulences around Europe. You have always been so clear in your stand and position, and this is something which allows others to take example from your country and to consider your foreign policy stance as the real element and example of stamina, strength, and maturity and democracy. So in that regard, of course, this next period of time, we share a rather positive assessment of where we stand in terms of decisions have been taken. We have been tracing through different political winds in Europe, but also the very intensive political process happening in the United States. But we were not choosing to reflect on this. We were choosing to prepare the decisions which will allow to secure our survival. And I'm really grateful that now we have the decision of the G7 group on the 50 billion additional loan, which will be covered through the profits from the Russian seized assets. And EU and Romanian voice has been really important at the EU to make this work and to mobilize this decision to be happening. We are heading over to a very intensive bilateral meetings after the launch of the negotiation process. We're just doing our our best with Cristina and with your support to energize the European Commission to a more ambitious dynamics of the process, not because we want to join the European Union fast, because this is the demand of our society and this is the demand of our ministries and parliaments. So just a couple of days ago, we had a group of the high-level foreign advisors in Ukraine, and Cristina was just a week ago in Kiev, and the mood is that we need more job, we need more reforms to accomplish, we need to do it as much as we put effort to our survival and to bring a country closer to victory. So we really expect that you will also share this energy and the mood and will bring it to Brussels as well, because we revived the enlargement as the huge new geopolitical project. As a two countries and now as all 8 enlargement countries. And European Union and its member states, I think, reinvented enlargement as the huge geopolitical opportunity and is also element of the security. And to preserve these dynamics, we need to be unconventional. As always, I've been saying Ukraine is not in a position to be asking for any discounts or fast tracking, but we can move fast ourselves. Everything we are asking for to give us this opportunity. So I really hope that Romania will be a voice supporting this logic. Also, we have a very serious commitments in terms of the military support, and Romania is one of the countries with which Ukraine has signed security agreement. We have a very strong statement on air defense over the NATO summit, and we have a very structured decision of NATO to coordinate the military support, and we have the very ambitious agenda to that. So it means that we did our best to shield ourselves from possible disengagement or waivers from the commitment. That gives us the ability to be more strategic, more capable, and more confident, and thus to start thinking about the strategy for victory and for ending this war. And we're, of course, preparing for the next peace summit, which will be marked by a concrete proposals on every element of the peace formula, which will allow to start the political process. And in that regard, I always say that war has changed many things, but it has also changed the geopolitical reality and our relations with the neighboring countries, because these are the relations which has become real. This started to go far more beyond the protocol and the meeting, and the depth of our connection with Romania is truly inspiring. And I think that this bond is something that allows us to be a stronger eastern flank of the European Union altogether. And I'm really grateful that we have this opportunity on this regular and day-to-day cooperation and coordination. That's very helpful, that we could have a very fast exchange, and that allows us to be confident in the decisions. And as always, I'm completing my speeches with the very simple message: Ukraine is a reliable partner. We have never been letting you down, and we will not. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice Prime Minister, for your heartwarming and also mobilizing words. Now, the Republic of Moldova is, of course, apart Ukraine, the most affected country by this tremendous war. So, time is running fast. Again, without further ado, I would like to please allow me to turn to Your Excellency, Vice Prime Minister of the Republic of Moldova, Mrs. Gherasimov. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam State Secretary, dear Minister, dear Luminița, dear Deputy Prime Minister, dear Olha. It really feels being not only among neighbors, direct neighbors, but really being among friends. I think you don't hear me. I'll try better. it's you know, since we've seen each other on the first intergovernmental conference, I think we've entered a new phase in our relations. We are here today to, first of all, thank you, the ambassadors of Romania, for being our voice and for making the first intergovernmental conference possible for Moldova. What I can say for sure is that if it wasn't for Romania, if it wasn't for each and every one of you who made sure to always remember Moldova, Republic of Moldova, in your speeches, in your efforts to advocate for our interests, we wouldn't have had the first IGC, and we wouldn't have had this advanced stage in our relations with Romania and within the European Union. So here, once again, thank you so much for everything that you have been doing for us, regardless of the capital where you find yourself in. Second, big thank you and gratitude to Ukraine. It wouldn't have been, again, us today in this phase, wasn't it not for Ukraine creating this geopolitical opportunity for us, where we are struggling to transform a tragedy for the region, for the country, for a people, into an opportunity for a better future for all of our citizens in the region. So again, it feels very special to be here with you today because of everything that you've been doing for the Republic of Moldova, for our citizens every single day. For us as a country, the next really important priorities are, of course, the referendum, the presidential elections, and the parliamentary elections in 2025. We need to pass this successfully so that we are able to provide the necessary continuity for what we have managed to accomplish, for what we've managed to achieve in the last 2-3 years since the war has started in Ukraine, that has affected Moldova equally as much in terms of economic impact, social impact, energy impact. Every aspect of our lives have been impacted. And you know very well, because Romania was by our side at every single step, strengthening our energy security, strengthening our heart security, helping us to combat disinformation and so on. So for the next 6 to 12 months, it's an electoral period for Moldova. We are confident that President Maia Sandu will win the presidential elections. We have trust and faith in our citizens that they understand the responsibility on the shoulders of each and every one of us to make sure that we don't miss another opportunity that the European Union is giving us. So we very much hope that everyone will be able to understand the responsibility on our generation's shoulder and will show up on the day of the referendum to the polling stations. And we very much hope that the political class in Moldova will be mature enough at the next parliamentary elections to understand the importance of ensuring continuity in our reform efforts in our European path. So in order to pass well these upcoming exams for us, we have 2 important challenges, and you know both of them. It's the security and our economy. It's really, really important for us to continue preserving the stability and peace in the Republic of Moldova by strengthening our security, by strengthening our defense. Here again, our big thank you and gratitude for all the assistance and support that we are receiving from Romania, but also from the other EU member states who have been by our side to help us build or strengthen our army, to build our security. Out of all of the security, out of all of the spectrum of security challenges that you are very well aware of, I'll just mention the importance of our challenges when it comes to disinformation. Disinformation really very much pollutes our information space, and it's meant to, unfortunately, equate European Union with the possibility of war for the Republic of Moldova. I think this is the strongest narrative that is meant to create, to inflict fear, uncertainty in Moldovans, and to disconvince them from showing up to the ballots for the referendum. So here everyone at societal level, government level is doing their best with the instruments that we have, but we know that it's quite challenging to combat disinformation, not only for Moldova, but for every other country in the region. So this is one important challenge on our way when it comes to our next political priorities as we move forward. And strengthening our economy is another priority deriving from the difficulties we are encountering in ensuring economic growth. There are tons and tons of money flying into Moldova, illicitly, illegally, but using legal ways. And this money, unfortunately, is not, the government cannot compete with the amount of money that our pro-Russian proxies are using to dissuade the Moldovan voter. What's more important for our country as a future? Is it the immediate needs to be able to buy a dozen of chickens for the winter or for the autumn, or is it about ensuring the continuity of our European path by withstanding the bribes that come along their waves? So here, I think for us, strengthening the economy either via bilateral projects, either via the economic growth plan that the Commission is trying to put together for Moldova in a similar manner as they have done for countries of the Western Balkans or for Ukraine. We hope very much that these opportunities for us will create the necessary baseline for us to face the difficulties by not having the investments that we expected to have once President Maia Sandu was voted in, once the new parliament took office 3 years ago. So basically, we very much hope that we would be able to replace the lack of a very strong investment wave into the Moldovan economy, still with our bilateral projects that we are able to develop. And here again, big thank you for all of the support that we get from our Romanian colleagues in terms of underpinning everything when, coming from building our roads, strengthening our quality of education, strengthening kindergartens, and so on. So these two areas are the ones where we experience the most challenges in making sure that we have the necessary pillars in place to ensure a successful result for our referendum and to ensure a successful result for our parliamentary elections. At the same time, we're very much optimistic in terms of our European agenda. What we've managed to accomplish in the last 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years, is really encouraging our citizens. It's very inspiring for our citizens, even though we still struggle with a decreased administrative capacity to deal with all of the workload coming our way as a result of the bilateral screening and hopefully the opening of the actual negotiations sometime next year in 2025. We hope to be able to continue strengthening our state from inside. And here, again, a big thank you for those line ministries and institutions in Romania that are already working with counterparts in the Republic of Moldova. And I would also like to say that we're open to get even more of your support, expertise, and knowledge as we move ahead in the process of negotiations. I will stop here and leave more space for questions if there will be any. Thank you.